our Master of for this evening session. The Honorable Vice Rector Professor Dr. Syamsul Arifin, the Honorable Dean and Vice Dean Faculty of Health Science University of Muhammadiyah Malang, and the Honorable our participant and guests of International Short Course 2022. The first agenda, please give your attention. Now we all together sing Indonesian National Anthem, Indonesia Raya, following by Hymn of Muhammadiyah, Sang Surya. Sang Surya.
Jahat
Thank you for the attention. For information that we already, our first speakers, we have already joined in this room. Now, we are pleased to invite the Vice Rector, University of Muhammadiyah Malang, Professor Dr. Samsul Arifin, to deliver his address and officially open the International Short Course 2022. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Professor Dr. Samsul Arifin.
Okay, thank you for the master ceremony, but I'm so sorry, I forgot her name. Siapa namanya?
Professor Iran Silva.
No, your name?
Oh, my name is Fatou Rasida.
Oh,
Fatou Rasida.
Okay, good. Okay, thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Good evening for all of participants from Indonesia and good morning, especially the participant from Brazil. Yeah, I think for the Thailand not too different about the time between Indonesia and Thailand. Innal hamdalillah la haula wala quwwata illa billah asyhadu an la ilaha illallah wa asyhadu anna muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluhu la nabiyya ba'da. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wa hlul min lisani yafqahu qawli. The Honorable the Dean of the Faculty of Health Science, Pak atau Mr. Dr. Yoyo Bekti Prasetyo, you look very fresh here.
Thank you, Mr. I always look fresh, Mr.
Yeah, maybe because already from the tennis, maybe. Yeah, and I would like to say hello also to all of the 15, like Pak Rahmat and Bu Heni, and also the another 15, and also maybe all of the department. And I would like to say hello to the honorable speaker from Brazil. Is there here?
Yes, Iran Silva.
Yes, okay. But I'm so sorry because okay. Hello, who is that?
Professor Irens, Professor Irens
Silva.
Yes.
Hello.
Silva. Hello. Good morning.
Thank you for the opportunity to stay with you and your team in this event.
Yes, okay. Good morning once again. I'm so sorry because I'm in my car. Yeah, I have the trouble with the networking and also the place. So maybe the picture is like in the cave, quite dark. Yeah, but on behalf the Rector University of Muhammadiyah Malang, I would like to say, I would like to provide and maybe to give the high appreciation for this activity that held by Faculty of the Health in UMM, one of the faculty in UMM. Actually, we have 12 faculties, and one of the faculties owned by UMM is the Faculty of Health Science. Once again, on behalf of the Rector of University of Muhammadiyah Malang, I would like to give the higher appreciation to the Faculty of Health Science and universities from abroad, like Brazil and Thailand and also UK, who have developed a good collaboration to organize an academic activity, namely international course in the fields of health. I think this event is like a breakthrough, because even though Indonesia, Brazil, Thailand, and the UK are geographically far apart, but because we are now living in the era advanced in technology, we can meet while we stay in our country and at different time. Like now, in Indonesia is evening, yeah. But in Brazil, too early maybe, yeah. In the morning, yeah. Maybe what time in Brazil now? 8, yeah. So we have the time different between Indonesia. How many hours?
10 hours, Professor.
10 hours.
10
yeah.
hours.
I think it's extremely different.
Yeah.
Extremely different. We almost go to sleep, and you from Brazil already wake up from the you're sleeping. Okay, I think it's the good breakthrough. Even though we stay in the different country, but we can develop the good collaboration because about the advance of the technology. So in the next, yeah, we hope we can explore, we can develop not only to help like this event, maybe we can arrange like the collaboration in research, in publication, maybe we can arrange about the faculty exchange, student exchange, and so on. I think this event is the first step, and I hope we can explore about another scientific activity in the future. So again, my appreciation to the Faculty of Health Science and also our partner from the other country like Brazil, Thailand, and also from UK. I think it's good. So enjoy for the event, and once again, please keep in touch. And the most important thing, because the trend of pandemic now is decline, yeah, and decreasing. Hopefully, especially to the student from UK, from the Brazil, from the Thailand can visit physically to Indonesia. Maybe Professor Silva, do you have been here to Indonesia? Hello, Professor Silva. Do you hear me?
Oh,
hello.
My microphone's off. It's closed. It's okay.
Okay. Do you have been here to Indonesia, Professor?
No.
No. Okay. So hopefully you can visit here physically, yeah, because the trend of pandemic is decline and decreasing, and we already get the instruction from our president. We can release, yeah, our Demas, yeah, in the open area, and also to Lobo, Talita Lobo.
Yes, Professor.
Yeah. Where do you come from?
Talita Lobo is International Relation of Uni Evangelica.
Also from Brazil, yeah,
yes,
from Brazil.
Yes.
Okay, so hopefully you can visit to Indonesia, especially to my campus physically, because now the situation is very conducive. So I'm waiting for you coming, Professor Silva, Professor then Lobo, and also another participant. Okay, that's all. Thank you. Good morning, good evening. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Samsul, for your time in the opening speech, and welcome to Talita Lobo. She is International Relation of Uni Evangelica, and welcome Professor Irene Silva. She is our first speakers for today, and I would like to inform you that our event today, we have participants from around the globe. So I have to say good morning, good evening, and good afternoon for you all. We have from Vietnam, we have Philippines, we have also Thailand, we have Indonesian, of course, and we have Brazil too, and Malaysia, and also Gambia, Egypt, and also Yemen. Yeah, we have around the globe the participant for today. Okay. Yeah, we come to the end of the opening ceremony for International Short Course 2022. Thank you very much. And now we enter to.
So I withdraw from this forum, yeah.
Sure, Professor. If you.
Okay, Mister.
Okay, thank you. Okay, yeah.
Thank you,
Bye bye. Yeah.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Professor.
Thank you, Prof.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay. And now we enter to the main agenda. Before we start the first session, I would like to remind all the participants to please turn on your camera so we can see you and turn off your microphone so the speakers can present without interruption. If participants have any question during the session, please write the question in the chat box and the speaker will be answering all the question in the question and answer session after the presentation. And the attendance list will be given via chat box, and please make sure to fill the form with your full name. Okay, now I'm pleased to introduce our first speaker, finally, Dr. Irens Oliveira Silva. Hello. Hi, Professor. How are you?
Hello. I'm fine. It's a good pleasure to me stay with you in this event.
Okay, sure. Okay, all Dr. Irens, currently the coordinator of the Sitco Sezu postgraduate course and director of the physical education course at Uni Evangelica, Brazil, graduated from Universidade Católica de Brasilia in physical education, both PhD and master. I hope that I can pronounce it right. Postdoctoral from Regional University Foundation of Lima, Brazil in health science. The area of expertise of Dr. Irens are physical education, health science, kinesiology specialty. And today, Dr. Irens will be sharing with us his expertise and understanding about autonomic changes induced by pre-competitive stress in cyclists in relation to physical fitness and anxiety. With that, I ask you all participants to give your full attention to Dr. Irens and help me in welcoming him to the room. Okay, Dr. Irens, time is yours.
Okay, thank you. When I received this invitement, I was very happy because I like to talk in an event in this type of event, and especially when the student and teacher it's together. And this event in special too, because have different countries participate together. It's very good to improve our quality of activity. Well, I will share screen my lecture, and I pretend send to you to this lecture if some people need get the material. Okay. It's okay. Is the share screen?
Yeah, we can see it clearly.
I will minimize this. Okay. And in this moment, I selected to this event, talk with you about this paper, Autonomic Change Induced by Pre-Competitive Stress in Cyclists in relation to physical fitness in anxiety. Why I selected this theme to talk with you? Have some conditional to select this paper. First one, the autonomic change was building through the partnership in different levels. First, the activity born about the scientific initiation. I think the scientific initiation and undergraduation course, it's very important to improve our quality. Then this work born with this student in physical education course some years ago. And this is the first activity, no? And born in undergraduation course. In that time, Vinicius the name, this boy, was athlete in mountain bike, and the motivation for him.
Sorry, Professor. Can you please slide show your PowerPoint?
Don't change the slides.
No, you have this slideshow. Okay, that's okay, Professor. It's like that. You can continue
It's
right now.
okay.
Yes.
Okay, sorry. I'll put here. There. The scientific initiation started with this boy, Vinicius, some years ago in physical education course. This is the level 1. It's important. You motivation, the research starting this level. No? It's very important, independent of course of area and formation. It's very important. Vinicius was athlete in mountain bike in national level and championship in different competitions. And the dream, him dream was to study the mountain bike. And I studied autonomic change, the relation with stress and depression and anxiety. Then we together the ideas and start the activity together, mountain bike and autonomic change. Vinicius told to me the anxiety before the race, and the stress, and sometimes before the race. Then I think and review the literature and about this relation and see a gap in the literature, talk specifically about cycling the mountain bike and autonomic balance. Then start the idea. And in second time, no, and I get the international collaboration. It's very important to improve our quality and our opportunities, no, to everyone. In this case, I call Professor Carl Foster in Wisconsin University in USA. Carl Foster, it's a physiological exercise expert and help us in this activity and especially in the relation, physiological relation with autonomic balance. Well, this paper has some evidences in literature and came to you some part of the paper to talk with you. First, cycling is a sport which requires great physical effort from athletes. And competitive performance depend on physiological factors, technical compatibility, and psychological factors. In this sense, stress, anxiety might interfere greatly with performance by impacting an autonomic function. Physiological alteration, such as situations that trigger, irritate, widen, or anxiety, the individual can use a stress response, defined as a response of the organism to establish the homeostasis. It's interesting because the reestablish homeostasis is a common situation in ordinary life or in sport situation or sport performance. Then our body get the reestablish the homeostasis. Some studies have demonstrated the negative effect of stress on athletes in various sport modalities and the other activity too. in my area of actuation, in military pilots, it's a similar situation. Stress on this type also tend to negatively influence in performance. There is also evidence that the previous experience and physical fitness may modulate stress response and minimize autonomic changes. Then in mountain bike, there are few studies that relate the stress caused by competition to the athlete's physical condition or to the effect of pre-competition anxiety on the autonomic control. This is the start, the idea, this paper, this project. Then the aim of this study was to present data on the autonomic change induced by pre-competitive stress in mountain cyclists and their relation with physical fitness and anxiety. And this picture, I need this screen, or please. It's okay? Or their heart rate variability have different evidence in the literature about your importance. Their heart rate variability and first activity was studied to medical clinical, but different evidence in other areas demonstrate the importance in this variable to analyze the autonomic balance. Guyton and Hall in 2011 told that the heart rate variability is a technique capable of quantifying autonomic balance. The task force, the principal document about the heart rate variability, told it's around scientific interest from the 1960s onwards, is the heart rate variability is able to describe the variation between heartbeats. Vanderlei, 2009, and the relation is this, no? The different beats, this difference, the variation is the heart rate variability. Vanderlei, in 2009, the higher the heart rate variability, the greater the adaptive capacity. And Pagani and Zaho, though the heart rate variability tends to decrease with the age. Then this picture demonstrates this relation. The young people, the heart rate variability is higher. And during the life, it's physiological, it's normal. It's decrease along the time. Then the old people had less variability in relation to young people. It's important know about this, because this situation, it's very common in stress situation too, and anxiety too. Then this technique, it's capable to demonstrate the alteration in stress. Well, in this paper, we used 12 healthy cyclists recruited through the Cycling Federation of Goiás. Goiás is a state in the center of the country, the center of Brazil, around the Brasilia, the federal capital. All athletes had previous experience in competition at the regional level and participate in all stages of the evolution. Everyone involved in the study was informed about the process and prove the right and the informed consent. This research was approved in our ethical committee in Evangelica and occurred with the principle of Declaration of Helsinki. The participants were between 12 and 40 years and did not present with an acute or chronic disease, had a normal blood pressure, systolic and diastolic. This is the characteristic of our participants, the age between 18 and 40 years, body mass between 54 and 74, and the body mass index between 19 and 28. And look, this body mass index demonstrate the good condition of our athletes. The body fat too, 9.9%. It's very low and demonstrate the high level of physical condition of the athletes. And the aerobic capacity, the VO2, it's higher, 64 in men and between 51 and 74. It's very high. And the heart rate, the median is 61. And the cycling experience is an important variable in this study. The median is 7 years, but the change, the range, is between 6 months and 15 years, different time of experience and cycle performance. This was a good condition to understand the relation of cycle experience in the autonomic control and the control of anxiety too. Well, and this study was designed in 2 different times. And first one 1 week before the race, the participant came to lab in Evangelica and realized there different tests about the aerobic capacity, through Astron test, about the body composition and the skin fold test, and measure the heart rate variability. In that time, we used this stopwatch and this method. In that time, we use the V800. This equipment today have other upgrades, and today have other instrument to measure heart rate variability with more efficacy. But in this technique have different papers around the world demonstrate your efficacy, your importance to measure the heart rate variability in normal condition. To analyze this date, the heart rate variability, you use the Cubius heart rate variability. It's a specific software capable and scientifically comparably important to analyze the heart rate variability. Today, the Cubius have app in your cell phone that you can test in real time the heart rate variability. It's very interesting, though. But in that time, we use it in this form and during in the software analyze, because was the best in that time, 2017. And the second time, in the race day, we analyze the other time or record other time, the heart rate variability, 30 minutes before the race, and test the anxiety. We used in this event competitive state anxiety intervention. The name is SI2. And this test, it's capable to analyze the cognitive anxiety, somatic anxiety, and self-confidence of different studies demonstrate your importance and your valuable to analyze the anxiety, and special in athletes. Then, to analyze this data, the statistical analyze this data, we use the SPSS 22, and the level of significance was 5%. To analyze the distribution, it's very important to talk about the distribution of dates, because heart rate variability and some variable of heart rate variability now have a normal distribution. Then in this case, it's necessary normalizing using some technique. In this case, we use the natural logarithm. The difference between heart rate variability use the confidence interval of 95%, and the relation the second stage, the second of the label, and the first stage. The change was tested by the parted t-test students, and the magnitude between the days was assessed using the effect size. Effect size is other interesting statistical analysis to demonstrate the effect of some activity between two moments. And the relation between the variables, you use the Pearson correlation and the regression volume. In this condition, we analyze the body fat, the aerobic capacity, the heart rate variability, the experience, cycling experience, and the practice time, and the anxiety. Well, and in this table, we demonstrate the comparison, the counter time and the competition day, the difference in the moments, and you can look two variable SDNN. SDNN is a variable to characterize the sympathetic activity. Then when we can look the improvement of 65% in sympathetic activity. It's similar to improvement in the heart rate between the control moment and the race day. Demonstrate the stress situation. On the other hand, and this variable MSSD is the variable demonstrate the parasympathetic activity. We don't look statistical difference between the moments, but the effect size is considerable in this situation. You look in the date, the low in activities, vagal activities, that demonstrate the stress situation. And when do you think in the first picture that I demonstrate in this lecture, in the first, you look and that how long the time it's normal, the variable down, and because it's physiological condition, not how long the time. But in the stress situation, it's very common too. In this, you look this condition. And the other analyzing the anxiety score, you can look different values between the athletes. It's important to look in the minimal and maximal scores. And cognitive anxiety, the rango, it's between 9 and 25. It's very high, the rango. And the somatic anxiety too, that's 6 and 17. And the self-confidence between 8 and 36. Then in this table, we can look the difference anxiety score between athletes. And of course, this difference direct impact in the stress, in the performance too, no? And have a relation with time of practice in mountain bike. In the last table, we demonstrate the correlation between our variables, physical fitness, anxiety, and the difference of heart rate variability between the both moments. And you can look some variables very interesting. This, for example, demonstrates that with more aerobic capacity, less difference between vocal capacity. More aerobic capacity, less difference between vocal activity. And the other date very interesting in this study told about the anxiety. The somatic activity have a inversal correlation with cycling experience. Then, with higher somatic anxiety, less cycling experience. Then, the experience, it's very important to minimize the anxiety. And the other dates, very interesting too, is the self-confidence, no? Higher self-confidence, higher cycling experience. And then the direct relation, no? It's very strong relation. Well, we convert the information and write the discussion in this paper, and I want compare with you because I think it's very interesting when you think about these results. And well, look, a cycling competition is a stressful situation capable to alter in autonomic and hemodynamic parameters. In this study, we observed the increase in 65% in sympathetic activity immediately prior to competition, which may reflect the increased sympathetic autonomic control. A factor observed in the previous study that used a secretion of salivary alpha amylase. And I want to open aspas in this term because when I send this paper to analyze it for referees, and I receive an expert referee to study stress, but use it to measure the stress salivar alpha analysis, and think how this guy um, um, look with strange when other people analyze the stress with other technique, and this relation was very important to my understand the heart rate variability, understand the stress situation, understand the measure of stress, and how long the 10 months we make a type of fight with this referee demonstrating, and the heart rate variability is coupled as salivar alpha amylase is coupled to a measured stress situation. Was very interesting. And this may impact other physiological parameters, such heart rate, increase in 18%. And there are significant correlation between the physical fitness with some autonomic parameters. It's very interesting, and special the aerobic capacity, It's a direct correlation. It's important to look in the literature. Previous studies have shown that competitive anxiety is a mental state that includes cognitive, somatic, and emotional components, which may decrease athletic performance. Stress and anxiety are expected in a competitive situation. Different authors told about this situation and may have been minimized by different physical conditions. And the physical condition is a form to minimize all this situation. The result of this study, the result of this competition stage would have little influence on the overall annual classification. And this information is very important to put here and important to put in the paper, because I think it's a situation that can impact in the result, because not have other or qualify to other tournament, In this situation, anxiety did not correlation with heart rate variability in all parameters evolutions. True, it was clear sorry, that the cycle experience it's a determinant that characterizes the athlete anxiety. Sorry. Their aerobic capacity show a negative correlation with the change in sorry, the parasympathetic activity, and demonstrating that physical fitness should be considered when evolution autonomic control. This study had some limitation. At first, the competition phase shows for evolution was not the most important of the season. And recent research had shown that pre-competitive stress is more evidence in situation where the results really matter to the athletes. Imagine now when the different soccer players around the world need get the ticket to go to the World Cup in the final in these years. This situation is very stressful to athletes, no? And in conclusion, cycling competition is a stressful situation coupled to altering autonomic parameters, normally requires a considerable increasing in sympathetic activity. Other markers of autonomic control, evident of hepatic variability, date, did not seem to respond strongly in the control vs pre-competition comparison. Body composition and aerobic capacity, indicator of physical fitness, presented a different relationship with hepatic variability, with anxiety correlated with athletes' experience. Therefore, cyclists and the coaches need to work harder to control this indicator, because this indicator, body composition, aerobic capacity, it's a direct relation with training, the session of training. Then the athletes and the coaches need work higher to improve the aerobic capacity and the body composition. New studies might seek to clarify how much previous experience contributes to the autonomic control of athletes in more stressful situations. Thank you so much for this opportunity to talk about my study with you. I hope to motivate people in this class to study different techniques to look your object of study and motivate to make the relation, the partner with other colleagues, other professor research, and partners around the world. This is important to improve our knowledge and improve the quality of our studies. And in this moment too, I want to invite you students and professors this university to come to Brazil to our program in Evangélica. We have here 4 different programs of master and PhD degrees. And environment science, it's very strong in Indonesia too, you know? And the human movement and rehabilitation. This program I work with Ori and help students, and very interesting because my area of actuation have direct relation in this program, and the odontology, the third, and the pharmacy. Then, if you in some time came to Brazil, stay with us, train in some labs in our university, our doors, it's open to receive you. And I had a big pleasure to receive you, students and professor in our institution. This is my contact, and I am open to listen you and request some aspects. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Irens, for giving us such informative and amazing insight and explanation about the relation between fitness and initiative with cyclists. Okay, now we come to the Q&A part. For the participant who want to ask, you can use the raise hand features on the Zoom, or you can write it in the chat box. Okay, so is there any participant who want to ask?
Okay. Good morning, Professor.
Good morning.
Yeah, I'm Rahmat. I'm from University of Muhammadiyah Malang, and I have background as a physical therapist. So first of all, thank you very much for your invitations. We do hope that we can join to another events, and also we can visit to your university. And then thank you very much for your excellent presentations. So we are really agree that the exercise could make the positive impact for our cognitive function. And nowadays, like mental health issue is also a big issue after the pandemics around the world. So my question, Professor, if the exercise could make positive impact with the anxiety of cognitive function or the mental health issue, so if someone who has less exercise in their daily life, is it possible they can make a negative impact, or it can affect with their mental issue?
Well, thank you, Hakmada.
Just call me Adi. It's okay. Yeah, it's quite hard to pronounce for you. Just Adi. Yeah, Adi.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. It's interesting your question, and I think so. The less exercise capacity can have negative impact in autonomic control. Then it's important to motivation and have condition the people and in different areas. No athletes, but no athletes too. Continue your physical training, because the physical training have a direct relation with our autonomic control. Different studies demonstrate the continue your good physical condition, and you can improve your autonomic condition. No? I don't know if I request your question, because your message cut to me, but I think this is the idea. Continue your physical condition, not in high level. No? Your physical condition, it's very important to maintain the heart rate variability, the autonomic condition. And Haman, and our program and human movement and rehabilitation had a good lab in physiotherapy, and special to analyze of machine marsh and the transcranial electrostimulation. And in some time, if you come to Brazil, I would probably stay with you in this lab.
Sure, Professor. We will go there. I hope our dean can visit to Brazil, Evangeli University. Thank you very much for your response.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Is there any other participant want to ask to Dr. Irens? Okay, while we're waiting for other participants to ask, I have a few questions. I'm a little bit interested with this topic, and actually I'm interested to know how did you measure how long they compromise with all those anxiety before the competition, Professor?
Thank you. And this analyze was measuring 30 minutes before the race. But have some studies to demonstrate it's important make this analyze and more a few minutes before the race. But in this condition special, the athletes start your warm-up 30 minutes before the race. Then we prefer measure it before the warm-up to know influencing the analyze. And special autonomic capacity have a direct relation with the increment of heart rate. Then you prefer measure it before. Okay, and it's important to get this opportunity too. And told the more strongly analyze of heart rate variability, it's necessary to measure more time. The gold standard is 24 hours, but 24 hours, the logistic to measure it 24 hours, it's very difficult. Then have different studies demonstrate that 10 minutes it's capable to analyze their heart rate variability and get the information, sufficient information to conclude our activity.
So in conclusion that actually we need 24 hours, but it's very difficult to measure. So we can use like 30 minutes, 10 minutes to 30 minutes for prepare before cycles, right?
Để tu với gì mày?
Okay. Thank you, Professor, for your answer. Maybe there's any participant who want to ask. We have friends from Vietnam. Is there anyone who want to ask? From Indonesia? Is there any participant who want to ask? Okay, our friends from Malaysia want to ask. You can turn on your mic. Okay, so I think that's all. Maybe we enough for this session. Thank you, Dr. Irens. We finally come to the end part with Dr. Irens. I'd like to thank Dr. Irens for the interesting presentation and full of information about the topic. And we hope that we actually can hold this international class offline, that you can visit us in Indonesia or we are visit you in Brazil. And of course, when the situation get better. Thank you very much, Dr. Irens. Please send the thumbs up sticker in the chat box for Dr. Irens. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much to your opportunity, and congratulate you, your team, to realize this event. It's very, very interesting. Thank you.
Before Dr. Irens look up from the Zoom, can all the participants turn on your camera so we can take a picture together?
Thank you.
Yeah, please our staff help with the picture. All the participants, can you please turn on your camera? No, of course. I'm sorry, I can't open my cam. I'm outside. That's okay. Daniel. Okay, it's done. Thank you very much, Dr. Irens, for your time. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Before the closing, I would like to remind all the participants of our next class with the next interesting speaker is tomorrow. Tomorrow, Friday, 19th May 2022, at the same time, 6. Thursday, 19th May 2022, at the same time, 6 p.m. And please kindly join the Zoom meeting 30 minutes before the class started. Thank you very much, me as a master ceremony and both moderator for today's class. I apologize for any inconvenience occurred during this session. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. See you all.
Good. Excellent.
Thank you, Prof.